See this okay? All right, so we're just gonna have an easy session this week. You know, everyone's kind of figuring things out. I'm sure you guys are having fun adding and dropping your classes. One quick thing, if you guys can make sure you're muted, so in case you have any background noise, unless you want to say something, then unmute yourself. But pretty much I'll have everyone muted when we're on here. Um, So I'm going to go through some basic introductions of myself, have you guys kind of get to know each other. We'll go over the syllabus and the workflow of the class. I'll do a quick career research activity with you guys, and we'll do some Zoom breakout discussions, and then I'll explain our check-ins, discussions, and assignments. So first things first is attendance here. Let me get this link. I'm going to put a link to a Google Doc in the chat for you guys. Just put a check mark next to your name if you're here. And that's just attendance, so I can see who's here right now. It'll just help me a little bit. Okay, so a little about me. I grew up here in Oceanside, actually, and I first attended MiraCosta College because I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do when my career, you know, as I'm sure a lot of you. And I actually thought I wanted to be a doctor, so I was a candy striper. I don't even know if they still have candy stripers at the hospital, but I was at a candy striper at Tri-City Hospital, and I took a bunch of classes at MiraCosta College, including human anatomy, and we were very lucky during that time. We got a dead body, so that was nice. We had a cadaver in a human anatomy class. Shortly after taking some bio and chem classes, I realized I did not want to be a doctor, along with my internship at the hospital. So I started taking classes in all different departments at MiraCosta College, and it wasn't until I took one of the CSIT classes. Back then it was one of the first Photoshop classes for any graphic designers out there, and that's when I realized, oh, that's what I want to do. So I looked into the IGETC program that they have, your transfer program, and I transferred to UC San Diego, and I got my bachelor's in visual media arts. So I did get my AA first at MiraCosta, and then I went to UCSD. Highly recommend that program. It was very helpful during that time. It was extremely difficult to get into UCSD. I'm assuming it still is now, but it was a great way to get in there. While I was at UCSD, I had to work full-time. So for those that work full-time and going to school full-time, I've been there, did the whole thing. And I interned at Tony Hawk production company called 900 Films. So I'm sure everyone knows who Tony Hawk is, right? The professional skateboarder. So I worked with his film production company, and I was assisted the editor. So I got to go through all the raw footage of all the skateboarders on their tours. So I got to see all the behind the scenes. And the best part was it was a paid internship. So that was pretty nice. My senior year in college, I studied abroad for a summer semester in Florence, Italy. So for those that are thinking about studying abroad, I highly recommend that. Doesn't matter where you go, just go somewhere. Get out of the United States and see something. Even a summer program. It was a 4-week program, and then I just stayed 2 extra weeks to travel around Germany and Austria. So highly recommend that. When I graduated from UCSD, I started off with production positions in graphic design, computer programming, and project management. And then that later developed more and more into marketing positions, which included web to print. So when web to print first came out, I was into that. When direct mail marketing, you know, the direct mail pieces you get in the mail, kind of the junk mail. I worked on all those things, email marketing, and then eventually it turned into social media marketing when social media came out. So I've kind of done all different sorts of marketing. I've worked for production companies, I've worked for agencies, and I've worked for corporate companies where I'm actually was the marketing director, and I had a staff underneath me. So kind of done it all. When I was a marketing director at a big corporate company, I realized that I only knew the visual creative side of marketing, and I didn't really know the numbers analytics side that well. Like, I didn't know anything about finance, accounting, supply chain. Those things were kind of boring to me. So I was inspired to go back to school by the CEO, my boss at the time. He didn't offer to pay for it, unfortunately, but I went back to school and I went to Cal State San Marcos, and I got my master's in business administration. So I learned all sorts of things about business, which was amazing. It was a very challenging program. It was a year and a half program while working full time. So it was extremely stressful, studying every night, and I kind of felt like the dumb person in class because, not going to school for so many years and then going back to school, and I'm like, wow, everyone has a laptop in here. Like, you don't need like pen and paper anymore to write down notes, little things like that. So really learned a lot, and I graduated from Cal State San Marcos. After that, instead of going back to the corporate world, I learned so much that I decided to start my own business. So I went the entrepreneurial route. Perhaps some of you guys are interested in being entrepreneurs. And I found a hole in San Marcos. San Marcos is where I live, in that a lot of small businesses with their social media, either one, they've tried to do their own social media and it takes too much time and they don't have time to do it, or two, they don't have the budget or resources to hire a full-time social media marketer for their company because it's mostly small businesses. So I established my own company, Janovic Communications, where I'm a marketing consultant, content creator, and do social media management for these small businesses. So it's kind of like being a freelance graphic designer, but I'm doing social media. So I found a need in San Marcos, and I was able to fill that need with my service. So all these small businesses, all these clients, all those little tiny incomes, they all add up at the end of the month. So that's what I do, and I'm also the founder of UltraBuds Running. Don't know if we have any runners out there. I am a huge runner, so a lot of my examples in this class might be running based. I do trail running, don't really run on the road, but I'm an ultra runner, which means that the races I run are either a 50K, which is about 31 miles, and 50-mile races. I don't do hundreds because I don't have time to train for something like that, but I do 50Ks and 50-milers. So I started this social running group about 6 years ago, UltraBuds Running. I do all their social media, their marketing, I host group runs, it's free, it's social, it's just a fun thing. If anyone's a runner and they want to find out more info, feel free to send me a message. 2 years ago, I also created my second company, and it's called Ghost Runners Coaching. And here I found another need. So all these ultra runners that I'm hanging out and running with, there's no local coaches to help them train for their first ultra. Yeah, there's coaches all over the US, but a lot of people want a local coach, someone who they actually know face to face, who might know them, who are familiar with the race that they're going to run, who have already ran that race. So me and my business partner, we started Ghost Runners Coaching, and it's been about 2 years now. We've partnered with 6 local race directors. We're partnered with Fleet Feet. We have Prestige Products, which is a supplement company. So we've done really well with ourselves. So that's 2 companies that I own and am in charge of, plus the running group. And then I'm also a professor at Cal State San Marcos. Shortly after I graduated and started my company, they asked me to come back and teach social media. So I teach social media at Cal State San Marcos, and I also teach personal branding, which their personal branding class is very similar to this business communications class. A lot of similarities there. So yeah, this is my second semester teaching at MiraCosta. I love teaching online, virtual. That way I can, have time to do my runs whenever I want. But that's a little bit about me and my career path. Then on the personal side, so I already mentioned I'm an ultra runner. I do 50Ks, 50-mile races, and I also started doing sky races, which means you go to the mountains and you start about 8,000 feet elevation and you keep running up. So a lot of times it's in the snow. A lot of times you're running with poles because it's super steep. Sometimes you have to climb ropes because it's super steep. I also do obstacle course racing, so if any of you have heard of Spartan races, I do those as well. So I'm always training for something like that. I'm a hiker and a backpacker. I love being outdoors. I've done the 52 hike challenge. I've done the 6-pack of peaks almost 2 times. Working on my 2nd time now. And then my husband and I, we rescue pit bulls. So we're very big pit bull advocates, lovers. And these are our 2 little monsters right now. Dally is the black one. I don't know if any of you have seen that movie, The Outsiders. It's from the 80s. There's a book too. One of the characters, his name's Dally. That's who he's named after. Romanoff, for all my Avenger fans, she was named after Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff. So these are the 2 little guys that you might see in the background. Although they're not little, they're 70 and 75 pounds, so big puppies. Okay, so that's kind of all about me. Anyone have any questions about me, my life? Thank you. Yes, I think my dogs are very cute too. All right, so now we're going to get into the syllabus and how the workflow is for the class. So the syllabus, I put links on that in Canvas, so hopefully you guys have kind of already, yes, Ponyboy, exactly. Oh, you named your dog Ponyboy. Zoe, we just became best friends. All right, cool. All right, so syllabus, hopefully you guys have kind of already read through it. They're long, I know. There's a lot of information you got to put in there. The main pages that you guys want to look at is really the main projects and how many points they're worth. So we have the analytical report video, discussions, writing assignments, quizzes, final exam, participation, and check-ins. So if you haven't gotten to your syllabus yet, you log into Canvas. For some of you that are maybe new to MiraCosta, log into Canvas, you select your 290 course, go to the syllabus menu, scroll down for full syllabus link. It'll give you a link to a live Google Doc. Just don't make any changes in there. I'm the only one allowed to make changes. If I make changes to the syllabus, they're for the better for you guys, not for the worse. It's to make it easier, not harder, so don't worry about that. And you can always download and print your syllabus from the Google Doc. And I always have to put the disclaimer, syllabus is subject to change. Especially with what's going on right now with the online classes, with, COVID happening. I know it's affecting all of us in different ways, so syllabus is subject to change. So going back kind of to the syllabus here, the main project is your analytical report and your analytical report video. That's kind of the main chunk of points there. If you notice, the final exam is only worth 80 points. I'm the type of person where I'd rather have you show me that you've learned something through a project or writing something, not a multiple choice test. You know what I mean? So for those that like multiple choice tests, it is in there, and I do have quizzes, but I think it's better to learn when you actually do it and you actually write it. And since this is a communication class, you're going to be writing and you're going to be making a video. This is not a video editing class, so I don't expect a huge full-blown production here, okay guys? So don't worry about that. You can make your video with your smartphone. Not a problem. And if you have any specific questions about the assignments or grading, feel free to email me anytime, okay? We have a total of 10 quizzes. There is usually a chance that I drop one at the end, or I give you a big extra credit to make up, because sometimes we just have that day where we're not on top of it and we do bad on a quiz. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Excuse
question.
me?
Yes.
I had to,
Just moving things around on my screen. I'm on a laptop. I wish I had a big, huge computer here. Okay, so that's kind of the syllabus. The other 2 pages that are important are the last 2 pages, what pretty much says the topic for the week and what the due dates, But always look at the due dates on Canvas, not the syllabus. Those are just kind of to show you guys, hey, this is what's coming up. This is what we're going to learn next week. You're either excited about it or you're not excited about it. So the workflow of the class, so each week I'll open up a new module on Mondays beginning August 24th. So, kind of already opened one. And except the main projects, I will release those sooner so that you guys can get a head start. It's always great to get a head start on things and not procrastinate, because you never know what's going to happen later. I'll send an email announcement for the week every Monday, and I usually send out a reminder like, hey, don't forget this is due this day, guys. But I will see you on Thursdays anyway, so this is kind of a reminder, don't forget, blah, blah, blah is due tomorrow. In each module, you'll have a resource page, and that'll have the links to everything, and links to the slides, links to the video, because I'm going to be recording these, and any other important links like our breakout session link to the Google Docs, that'll be in there. You'll also, under each module, you'll have your check-in, your discussion, your assignment, and your quizzes. The check-ins are made to be fun. You know, like one's going to be like, what your favorite movie, your favorite food, that sort of stuff. It's just kind of to engage with you guys, to make sure I know that you're alive and that you're doing okay, and so that we can get to know each other, since this isn't a live class. Because really, once you get in the workforce, in the careers, it's all about who you know, and it's all about networking. And it's sad that you can't go to any real live networking events right now. So the more we can get to know each other and get to, you know, the students get to know each other, the better later. I always tell people, connect on LinkedIn. Make sure your LinkedIn is up to date. Even if you've never had a job yet, start making it now. Any major projects you do, internships, volunteer work, put it on there. You know, maybe you're helping a sibling right now with distance learning at home. Turn that into something on your LinkedIn. Hey, I was a tutor during COVID, right? Anything you can put on LinkedIn right now, do it. Okay, so then our Thursdays live Zoom classes are from 1:30 to 2:45. I will open them up at 1:20 for those that need to get in earlier, and I will close them at 3. So if anyone has any last minute questions from 2:45 to 3, you can ask those. Also, if you want to do an office hour with me, it'll be a Zoom office hour by appointment. So if we're not getting anywhere through email, which I know sometimes you can't, you need to talk to a person, then we can do the Zoom office hours. We have not been given permission yet to do live office hours on campus. If they change that during the semester, then we can change things around and I can meet students on campus. Okay? They're being very safe right now with everything. So your writing assignments, your main projects, and your reports, always check the syllabus and Canvas for due dates. Canvas is going to have the most recent due dates. If you have a question about something, say you see a due date here and you see another one there, maybe I made a mistake somewhere, just email me. Always in doubt, ask a question.
I have a question. Is this open at all during this?
And one is your cover letter and resume. That one's going to be the last one. Also the most important. You might already have kind of a cover letter resume, but we're going to go over that and you can just enhance it, update it. It's always good to have an updated resume. Once you have your updated resume, you can copy that information to your LinkedIn page. I always recommend to have both still. When you go into the workforce, when you start applying for jobs, everyone will look you up on social media. Private, they'll find a way. So I always warn everyone, whatever's on your social media, your private accounts, clean them up if you're looking for a job. If in doubt, delete it. You know, go back to some of those old pictures, get rid of them. You know, we don't want to see the beer bong party pictures. Okay, guys, keep it clean, because even though legally they're not supposed, HR is not supposed to look at your social media, they do anyways. Trust me. And always have a written resume ready as well, because people still like to have that written resume. Even though they looked at your LinkedIn, they're still going to look at your resume as well. So it's really good that we have this writing assignment for this class. Okay, next little thing here, if you guys want to take a screenshot of this or write it down real quick, everyone is going to have to email me by tomorrow sometime. I don't care what time tomorrow, even if it's Saturday morning, that's fine. Your concerns. So 1, what are your concerns about this class or this semester? Give me your top 2. What do you want to learn about marketing or business communications? Give me your top 2. And is there anything that I need to know about you during this time? Maybe you're having certain childcare issues, or you're going through an illness. I know some person told me in another class they're pregnant and they're going to be due at a certain day. Anything personal that you think I need to know that might affect you in this class, let me know. It's strictly between us, and it's just so I can be lenient on certain things, like, hey, okay, I know that person can't make it to the Zoom, or I know that person might be late to a Zoom call, or, you know, just things like that. I'm a human just like you guys. We all got a lot of stuff going on right now, okay? So those 3 things, if you can email that to me by tomorrow, preferably, with this in your subject line, Business 290 Fall 2020, your name and concerns, so I know what I'm opening email-wise when I'm filtering through my emails. This is not for a grade. This is just to help us get to know each other better, so I know, what you're going through, kind of thing. Any questions so far? Okay, I think I have a question in the chat here. Yes, you can use an existing resume and edit and update it. That's fine. Mm-hmm.
Are these PowerPoint slides posted on Canvas?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I will always post them on Canvas. Yep. But if you wanted to know right now, you write it down, take a screenshot. But yeah, I will put them on Canvas. Okay, I'm going to have you guys do a quick little career research activity here. I always make everyone do this. There's actually a video, career readiness video, if you guys want to watch this on your own time. It's about 2.5 minutes. It's through the school, just kind of the Career Center, one of the resources that's on campus. I highly recommend using them. Also, the internship department, if you guys are interested in internship, there are internships available right now. Some of them are virtual, Take advantage of that. Maybe you're furloughed right now. Hey, do an internship. Learn something new, learn a school, add to your resume, add to your LinkedIn. So I'm going to have you kind of go on your own here a little bit and research and name 5 different business job titles that interest you right now. I recommend using either Glassdoor, Indeed, or LinkedIn. Those are the top 3 to find jobs. For each job title, what are 3 different skills needed for each? So 15 skills each total. And instead of sharing with the whole class here, because it's the first day, I'm going to split you guys up into breakout rooms so you can share in a smaller group so it's a little bit more intimate and comfortable. So let me put this in the chat. This is kind of how every week we're gonna do a Zoom breakout session. So after you get into your breakout group, you get about 20 to 30 seconds to introduce yourself, share your name as you'd like to be called, or if you're working, say where you're working and what you want to do. For this first one, I'm going to give you a lot more time to do that. Then you have about 60 to 90 seconds total to identify in your group who is the leader, the presenter, and the note taker. So volunteering is courageous, and courage is a good quality. This is a safe learning environment. A volunteer in the group should read the explanation of roles in the student guide for Zoom breakouts. And there's a link there, and I also put it in your chat a little earlier. So you guys as a group can go through that, decide those 3 key people, introduce yourself, say where you work. You never know if you need a job there later, right? So it's always good to network and know. Okay. So 60 to 90 seconds total. The note taker inputs the student names, first and last, please, don't forget the last name, in the Google Doc for their group number. So if you scroll down to this document and your breakout group number 3, say you're going to go to number 3, this is where you put everyone's first and last name, and this is where the note taker will input notes, the discussion notes. 15 to 18 minutes, the leader will direct the discussion prompt, and the leader should give each group member about 2 to 3 minutes for input. So the discussion prompt for this week is, in your breakout group, discuss a brief personal awareness or woke moment that was revealed to you over the summer as a result of your experiences with the pandemic. So maybe it was like how much you realized. For me, what was a struggle, what I didn't realize was I didn't want to go to Costco, and I had to get my dog food delivered to the house. Well, the delivery, they charge you for the weight, and dog food at Costco is, a huge big bag, and it costs a lot of money to get it shipped. So that's something I learned. So now I'm willing to drive to Costco to pick up the dog food. So maybe it's something like that. Or maybe you didn't realize how much you miss seeing your parents face to face. That was another thing. I didn't realize how much I miss seeing my dad face to face because he has medical issues. So when COVID first hit, he didn't see any of us, but now I see him all the time again. But little things you might have taken for granted. So So that's the topic or the discussion. 60 to 90 seconds, the presenter will recap what to share from the group to the class. Depending on time, we may not get to all of that, which is not a problem. This is our first time doing this. And then 60 to 90 seconds, the note taker will confirm it has the student's name in the shared document before the end of class so that everyone gets credit. At approximately 25 minutes, instructor will announce time is up and close the breakout sessions. And then the presenter from each group will take about 1 minute to share their findings with the class. Again, we may not get time to do all this, so we're just gonna kind of play this one by ear. The presenters have 1 minute max, so plan accordingly. At the end of the session, you'll see a 60-second warning that you're going to be returned to the main group.